G'day guys, this is Rick Williams from Tips and Ratings, just with our ratings wrap for today on the 14th of February. Racing today was at Caulfield and Randwick. Bit of rain sort of around Melbourne and a soft track in Sydney, so it was a little bit tricky early on, but we sort of worked it out. So I'll just run through what we did. For the day, we turned over 46.46 units and got back 65.27. That's a profit of around 19 units or 18.8, which is an excellent day. 40% profit on turnover for our money. So we had a really excellent day today. I'll just start with Caulfield in race 1. We found the winner, Fan and Brew, marked in $9.50. He started $12 top fluck. There was a lot of $20 and even better available earlier. He's a horse that we also backed last start, and as you can see, he was quite prominent in our speed ratings, which we put a lot of focus on. He ranked second speed, and Colin Little came up on our trainer algorithm as being strong as well. So there are a couple of the things that helped obviously us get him that short, and Index Linked ran home strongly for second. We weren't on him, but he's one to keep an eye out for next start. And as you can just monitor there as we go through the broadcast, we bet 2.74 on the race, got back 6.32 and profited 3.58 units. On to the next race, race 2. I didn't bet here. I just sort of wasn't sure due to the volume of first up runners. On to race 3, again, it wasn't really a race that I really knew a lot about, so I passed there. Fontaton was very impressive, and Off the Brave, again, the same in race 4, no bets. We then turned our attention to race 5. We basically got set here on a handful of runners, and Smoking Joey wasn't one of them. He did drift out late, and we managed to catch the price in the last few minutes of betting. And he obviously got the photo late. As you can see, we backed nearly every single runner, but opposed Jacqueline Bay, and luckily we got the photo. So not a huge return there. We just sort of broke even with, made a little bit of a profit, 28% on our money for the race with Smoking Joey. On to race 6, and Chartakwa was a horse we rated around at $1.60. He paid $2 best toe. I think it was $1.90 some organisations. $1.85 was the top official fluctuation. Obviously, number 1 on the speed rating, number 1 on the class, and Hawks and Dunn going really well. Hawks and John Michael and Wayne Hawks going really well. Strong trainer rating and a really good ride by Dunn. And he's just sort of held up for a while, but he ended up getting home quite strongly, and it was a really strong effort. We had a few other overlays there. We played more long shots, and they really didn't do anything. On to the next race, and got this one wrong. San Nicasio didn't really come out generated by the model well favoured at all, and it was wrong this one. So he obviously led all the way and won, and I was way against him, but it wasn't to be there. We bet 3.45 units. We had Hong Kong Captain, Magical, Sarajevo Affirmation, and a couple of roughies down the bottom, but yeah, 3.45 out for nothing back. On to the next race, and I only sort of had 2 runners rated under $10 here, and top rated was Dissident. He, as you can see there, number 1 on our class and number 1 on our speed figures, and he ran really, really well, and they didn't really go too hard, and I thought he boxed on pretty well. In total, 3.93 out for 5.48 back. Not a big return, but 40% on our money. Entirely Platinum, who was second on our speed figures, he ran second, and Mourinho ran third. So a little profit there for us on that race. Then we finished off in the last, did a bit of a re-rate as the day went on. Got Girl Guide into $2.90. As you can see, she was prominent in our figures. across the board, class speed, jockey and trainer ranking. But the horse that got the job done for us was Tycoon Tara. She ranked second on our speed figures and obviously showed good dash from the outside gate to get over. It was an excellent win, and we got her at $7 top flight, and with the late scratching of Precious Scarlet Bellows, which I'll just update there now, she ended up paying I got $6.57, so not too bad. And in all, we bet 4.1 units here and got back 7.14, so I profited 3 on the race and 74% on our money. So we had a solid day at Caulfield, and we also bet in Sydney. And in the first race, we backed 5 runners and didn't get in the first 2. I sort of couldn't really get Darcy Wood that short, but he was ridden cold and was just way too good. So we did about 4 units on that race, and that wasn't the start we were looking for the day in Sydney, but it was only the first. On to the second race, and I marked Planet Purple here, $13. He was obviously a lot better elsewhere and was heavily opposed by a lot of places, but he really relished the fast tempo that was set by Coraviti, which was just a pretty appalling ride. But in the end, we weren't complaining. As you can see there, he is pretty strong across the board. He was number 1 on our class figures, number 4 speed, and that was sort of reflected by the fact that we had him, 4th in line in our ratings, and he won really, really well. So as you can see, we bet 3.72 units there and got back 15.7 on the race, and it was a 12-unit profit. So over 300% on turnover. It was a good one. Onto the 2-year-old race, and again, just past here, just happy to see them. Haptic won well. It was number 1 on the speed figures, but they let us into him, but just not enough data to really go off. On to the next race, and back Destiny's Kiss, who ran home really well, Good Point Territory, and a couple of roughies, Cannibal and Galaxy. And I think, Heart Tester was $16 on the death at a couple of places, and probably around a little bit on Betfair, but I wasn't able to get the price. And he won, and he sort of was a bet for a few members, but not myself. So lost 2.6 units on that race. On to the next race there in Sydney, and look, I rated this adrift at 60-1. It's not really a horse that had much fanfare, as you can see. Its class figures were the worst in the race, actually, but it was 4th speed, 5th jockey, and 3rd trainer. So, on these horses' KPI indicators, it wasn't appalling, and we do put a lot of emphasis on the speed figures into coming to the conclusions. And as you can see, it had the 4th fastest speed rating, and it won well. So obviously, it had a lot of favours with where it was on the track, and probably Shin on First Seal probably lost a bit too much ground trying to get to the outside, which, had the track been fair and even, I've got no doubt First Seal probably wins. So probably a strong follow-up on First Seal. She's going to be very hard to beat wherever she goes. But, we picked up 4 units on that race and almost doubled our money. On to the next race, and I missed out on Contributor. I marked in 950. It was around 550 top flight. We bet 3.29 units, and we didn't get in the first 2 here. We had Weary, who ran 3rd, and Lucia Valentina, who ran 4th. But not really a lot of success there for us, unfortunately. But a great return all the same by Contributor. A really exciting win. He put him to the sword quite quickly. On the race 7, and we managed to back all bar 3 runners here. We opposed Cosmic Endeavour. She was sort of out of the handicap for me. She was sort of number 1 on class, but weight isn't always a factor for us. But she's just carrying too much weight relative to the other horses. And yeah, she's obviously drifted out a little bit late and did no good. Look, Thump got the good run, mapped really well, and as you can see there, second on the class figures, sixth on speed. The spread on speed wasn't great, so I don't have the raw figures here, but the value to the next runners wasn't a big difference here, and it sort of just won really well. We had Dane Siri also, who ran on well for second, so it's a horse we were on also at odds, and My Seville's a horse that worked home well that we were on also, ranked fourth on speed. So Mahara probably just got back too far back and needs 1400, and Calm Influence was probably a bit disappointing. But 3.2 out there for 5.77 back and around 2.5 units profit. And then on to the last race, and Telepathic was a horse at back top fluck, and got out to $5. Not a massive result for us in the end. It wasn't a horse that had really stamped itself with a strong overall speed rating, Telepathic, but I did find areas throughout its runs where it was, had shown a very good turn of foot, so I obviously elevated it. Snippets Land was coming off a really good win, and War on him, he just probably was in the wrong part of the track, and Countryman was gallant, so 3.46 out there, 5.43 back for a couple of units profit. So that entails and finalises a really strong day for us. Yeah, to get 18.8 back in the bags, really good. So it was a excellent day, and thanks for watching the ratings rack. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment on this post or shoot us through an email. Thank you very much.